Can you guys hear me? See me quickly on the chat. How many of you guys are just done with your snap third attempt and come out? Quickly on the chat, just type in. Okay, yes, I can see a couple of you guys have just come right after your exam. Lovely, great. So firstly, I want all of you guys to sit back, relax. Now you are done with snap. This was your last attempt. I've got lots of mixed reviews from students. Some are saying कि ये बहुत ही easy था. Some are saying बहुत tough था. It was not, how it was in the snap 1 and snap 2. So don't worry, you've given your best shot. The best thing is snap is going to take best of the 3. So आपने अगर तीनों दिए हैं तो आपका best of the 3 will be considered. So people who gave slot 1, day 1, 10th December found it easier and today found it tougher. कोई बात नहीं, let's hope that our first day का scores comes good and we get a better outcome here. ठीक है? Today's session I'm going to be talking about the snap day 3, that is today's slot 2 analysis, which was in the evening. Okay, morning wala analysis आपने देखा होगा just before going in, that Sumit sir had done. Today we will also have a detailed session tonight at 11:45, so make sure you guys do not skip that session. In that we will talk about the entire snap day 1, day 2, day 3 comparison, all the 3 slots, how was it, what can you expect with respect to the cutoffs for various colleges, what should you do, the ones which are still open to apply, at what percentile expected can you apply for them. Okay, so make sure you do not miss that particular session tonight. Coming back now, let's talk about the snap day 3 paper today. How many of you guys have given the exam? Just type in your attempts. How many questions did you attempt today? 30 attempts, 40 attempts, 50 attempts, 45, 48 attempts. Keep typing your attempts in the chat. Okay, I can see some 38 attempts, 43, 40. Good, that's 43, 40. What about the others? Jaldi se guys, type in your attempts. 48, 50, Kavish, good, 50. Slot 1, 36, Avinash, okay, lovely. Make sure you don't miss tonight's session. We'll talk about all of them. 44, Naveli 28, थोड़े से कम है attempts, but let's hope your accuracy is good. Priya 48, Devrat 50, good. Mohan 50, very good. Divyanshu 48, good. Ridhiraj 51, Aditya 50, lovely. So overall, if I have to say, today's paper was a little on the lengthier side, the slot 2 which we are talking about, but it was easy to do if your basic concepts were clear. So the students I have interacted with, most of them were able to attempt good number of questions in verbal and LR. Quants में थोड़ा सा tough था, वो नहीं कर पाए थे इतने ज़्यादा attempts. ठीक है? So we'll go one by one and we'll look at each and every section. And you guys keep telling me and putting it whether you were able to attempt or understand or not. It will give a better insight so that when the final analysis of all the slots comparison we do, we will have more details. Okay? Let's start. Let's first go with our verbal section. So when I talk about your verbal section, verbal was scoring. So आज के paper में out of the 3 sections, the easiest and the most scoring was definitely our verbal section. इसमें surprising, there was no figure of speech. Like पहले slot 1 में आज 3 questions थे, metaphor, simile और figure of speech वाले, and this time figure of speech was something which was very common across all the papers, पर आज नहीं था. किसी के को आया था. Students whom I interacted said no figure of speech. If you got a figure of speech question, just put that in the chat. Which figure of speech question had come? ठीक है? Then there was compound word question, जिसमें GK and so what के questions थे. Do you guys remember? GK मतलब general knowledge. Do you guys remember your compound word question? It was doable. It was not very tough. We had 2 synonym based questions. 1 prefix based question जिसमें आपको ignore was the answer, right? So you had ignore based questions. Priya, that's the vocab synonym based question. Yes, synthesis doable. ठीक है? Next prefix हो गया. Poem में it was not really an entire poem, but there was one quote of Napoleon and you were asked to find the problem in that particular statement. So you can consider it like a different type of a question where a Napoleon quote was given and they had asked to find the problem in the statement. Coming to the further questions, we had 2 to 3 questions on the idioms. Again, idioms was doable. One of the idioms questions was like father, like son, right? Do you guys remember the ones who attempted? दूसरे idiom के questions कैसे थे? right? Last thing which we had was we had 3 questions of grammar. So jiska grammar strong hai was able to get good attempts here and found that the verbal section of today's paper 15 में से you could attempt 12 to 14 questions, right? So that was for people if your grammar was strong, right? Vocab based questions, you either know it or you don't know it. Second, a little more scoring was your LR section. Isme again predominantly it was dominated by critical reasoning, which has been the case all throughout all the slots of Snap. If you see, this time assumption based questions were our hero. We had assumption based questions in every slot. Here also we had 2 questions on assumption based. One of them was about maternal and paternal leave based questions. So situation and scenario was given and assumption was asked on that. Then we had cause and effect questions. We had course of action questions. Cause and effect mein it was about the only pediatrician in the city. If you remember, ABC clinic hai, dusra clinic hai, they had given you that situation. So isme kya cause hai, kya effect hai, that was easy. It was not tough. That was doable. But aapko situation samajhna was very important. Course of action mein there were 2 questions. One of them was based on attendance of employees. Overall, if you see these critical reasoning questions, we had 8 to 9 questions. All of them were doable but required a little extra time for you to stay focused, understand what the situation is asking you to do, and then you were able to solve it out well. Okay? So that is from my 8 to 9 critical reasoning questions that were there today. Next, we had syllogism 2 questions. उसके बाद में we had number series के 3 questions, letter series का 1 question, and a very different series based question which was there this time, where you were given sequence 6 at the rate beta mu and everything, and you were asked that eliminate the letters, eliminate the symbols from the remaining, the 8th position पे क्या है, figure it out, right? So these kind of 3-4 questions, 2 to 3 questions were there for sure. Time consuming. If you were able to give time and do justice to it, you were able to understand this particular question. एक matrix का question भी था, थोड़ा सा different. 3x3 का box दिया था. Elements were fitted inside the boxes and one box was empty. You had to figure out कि उस box में क्या आया. So in a nutshell, if I summarize our LR section, we had 8 to 9 questions of critical reasoning, time consuming but moderate, doable. Syllogisms, number series, letter series, sequence, and a matrix question. Or overall, LR was surely lengthy. If you were able to give time to it, people who were able to save time in verbal could give more time to LR. तो 20 attempt हो गए हैं, ठीक है? But 18 plus is a good attempt. That is my LR का summary. Coming out to our quants, like Mayank says, most students को yes quants आज लेंदी लगा, tough लगा, डुबा भी दिया कुछ लोगों को, जैसे मयंक बोल रहा है. But पूरे पेपर में though it was lengthy, it was tough, it was difficult, 8 questions आप कर सकते थे, ठीक है? Now it is about you being able to identify those 6 to 8 questions जो हम sure shot 100% accuracy के साथ कर सकते हो. So Quants has played a little spoil sport for us, making question selection very imperative. Which were the doable questions? Profit and loss का एक question था, doable. Interest का discount based question था, doable. Time speed distance 1 question. PNC 1 question which was a little complex. Japanese लोग दिए हैं, Americans दिए हैं. You have to choose 6 people. From those 6 people you have to identify, you have to select 6 people जिसमें 4 तो for sure Japanese होने ही चाहिए, right? तो वो lengthy था, but you can figure out how many ways you can do that. Then probability 1 question, progression 1 question. Progression and probability both were moderate. Set theory 1 question, DI के 2 questions, tabular था. Previous slot में you had a line graph. Today we had again second slot में tabular form में table given, DI 2 questions, which was doable but a little lengthy, not very difficult. Quants के comparison में DI was definitely something which you should have attempted those 2 questions and come. Alright, so that's a quick summary. If I have to give you a quick brief one-liner, verbal scoring, LR lengthy, moderately scoring. Quants, lengthy and a little difficult, so not very scoring, so you can say moderate to difficult. Essentially, you should have been able to get, if like ideal attempts, 45 plus, most students have given that attempts. Okay? Good thing, which I will repeat once again, that I told in the start of the paper, people who've given slot 1, 2, 3, now do not worry about it. It's going to take your best of the scores. आपके slot 1 के percentiles slot 1 के हिसाब से आएंगे, slot 2 के slot 2 के हिसाब से आएंगे, slot 3 के slot 3 के हिसाब से आएंगे. No normalization. Best of your all the 3 percentile overall scores is what will be considered. Second advantage you have, snap colleges do not have a sectional cutoff. तो एक सेक्शन जैसे कि आज क्वांट्स कुछ लोगों को डुबा दिया, दूसरे में आप स्कोर कर सकते हो, तो डू नॉट वरी, यू कैन स्टिल गेट योर कॉल्स. Alright, now what you have to do next is take a day off, relax, sit back, and then start gearing up for your interview preparation, because symbiosis, the minute your results are out, you will have 5 days to 15 days to prepare for your GE WAT PI. That's group exercise, personal interview, written ability test, extempore, बहुत कुछ करना पड़ेगा, so don't waste too much of time. Let's get started from this weekend itself. Alright. Last year, the results came in the first week of Jan. Let's hope it comes somewhere around the same time. Make sure, let's stay tuned to the channel for all the updates, and do not miss tonight's YouTube live session at 11:45 with Sumit sir, where we will talk about comparison of all 3 slots analysis, your way ahead, and a deep dive into what symbiosis all colleges look forward to. Alright, thank you so much. All the best. Take care.